browser windows. Up to now, we have seen by using driver variable, we use close, or with the help of the driver variable only, we use quit command. When we use close command, it will only close a single browser window. But if we have multiple browser windows opened, then we can go for quit command. Either one or all. But now my requirement is out of multiple browser windows, if I want to close a specific window, suppose you can take this particular two windows, I can use close command or I can use quit command. But like this, we have only two browser windows open. If you have multiple browser windows open right now, and if I want to close only a specific browser window, then in that case, close as well as quit command will not be helpful. Definitely, we should go for browser windows. Very important. To close a specific browser window based on our choice, we use browser windows. Based on our choice, out of multiple browser windows. When we open the URL on the browser, our driver is focused on that browser window. Very important. Let me explain you in this way. Yes, you have opened this particular page, web page, by using this URL. Now, here comes the two parts, driver and browser. You have opened this particular page or the browser window with the help of driver.get. So driver is focused on this page. Also, the browser, whether it is a Chrome browser or an Edge browser or Safari or Firefox browser, the browser is also focused on this particular page. But if you perform any action that leads to any another page, or it will navigate to anywhere, any page, then driver is still focused on this particular parent window only. But driver focus is still there in this particular parent window. But browser focus is shifted to child window. Two parts, driver, browser. Driver is focused on the parent window, but browser is focused on the child window. And if there is any element which is there in the child window, if I want to perform any action on the element which is there on the child window, I would not be able to do, because my driver is still focused in this page only, in the parent window only. My driver is not focused in the child window, but the browser is focused here. I don't care about the browser. I care about the driver itself. How I can interact with any element on the child window with the help of driver. Very important thing to be noted. When we open the URL on the browser, our driver is focused on that browser window, as like this. And if we click another link, or if you click on any element that leads to any another page, the browser will focus on another browser window, not the driver, but the browser. But our driver is still focused on the parent window only. Very important. If you want to perform any actions on the child browser window, definitely we need to switch to child window. Driver needs to switch to child window. Because why we need to switch? The driver is focused on the parent window, but the element which I want to interact is in the child window. That is not possible to interact with that child window element. So I want my driver to be focused in the child window. So for the same, I will use switch to as like frames, as like alerts. I will switch to window. Switch to window, and I need to provide window ID. What is window ID? It is the dynamic ID. The browser, whenever loading a page, it generates dynamically. That is the dynamic ID with nothing but window ID. When the browser is loaded, that browser itself generates window ID. With the help of that window ID, you will switch to that particular browser window. Very important point. Driver dot switch to dot window, and you need to specify that window ID. Yes. How you can capture window IDs? Before going to that, let me discuss another important points. And as discussed, window ID is dynamically generated by the browser. Whenever we open a page or open an URL, that window ID of that particular page is dynamically generated by the browser. But it is not found in the HTML. When you inspect, you will only find the source code of this particular page, but you will not find any window ID for this child window as well as for the parent window, even for multiple windows opened. Then browser itself automatically generates whenever we open a browser window. And every time when we open a browser window, the window ID is dynamically changing. It is not same on every opening. Every time we will not see the same window ID. So window IDs are dynamic. Very important. Then absolutely fine. Window IDs are dynamic. How you can catch that window IDs? For catching window IDs in Selenium, we have two methods: current window handle as well as multiple window handles. If we open a single browser window, current window handle returns window ID of single browser window. If multiple browsers are open like this, we need to use window handles. It returns as like a list. So with the help of current window handle and with the help of window handles, we can interact with any elements which are there in the child windows or which are there in any specific browser window out of multiple windows. Or if we want to close specific browser window, then definitely we need to use current window handle as well as window handles. Very important. Again, I am repeating, we are having two parts. One is the driver and one is the browser. When we open a page or an URL, our driver, by common sense I can say, is focused on this page. If it is a single page or a web page, browser is also focused on this particular page only. But when a click is happened on the link, it will open another page. If you see here, the browser is focused on child window. I can consider this as parent window. I can consider this as child window. But our driver is still focused on this parent window, but the browser is still focused on child window. So if there is any element on the child window, definitely my driver needs to switch to this particular child window and needs to perform or identify that particular element which I want, and I can do whatever the action I need. So for switching to specific browser, definitely I need to use current window handle if it is a single browser window, or window handles. Window handles will be returned as a part of list. I can iterate and I can switch to that particular browser window. Yes, how we can use current window handle as well as window handles. Go to PyCharm, go to day27 directory, create Python file of browser windows. For every automation script, some settings are common. Importing WebDriver by desired capabilities. In the desired capability, experimental option, and initializing a driver variable. And with the help of driver variable, I can perform all the actions which I want. And as you see here, this is the page which I want to open. After opening this particular page, I need to perform the click action on this link. So I have two browser windows. One is parent as well as the child. And how I can switch to this particular windows and how I can perform the actions. We will see in a while. For all the things, since these are related to browsers, I can go for current window handle or window handles. Go to here, and if you see, let me execute this one time so that we'll get to know whether it is opening or not. Yes, it is opening that particular URL, maximize the browser window, and it has landed onto this particular web page. Close this, and for the browser window which it opened, I need to capture window ID. Very important. For switching to any window, definitely I require window ID. How I can get the window ID? I can get the window ID by current window handle. If it is a single browser window, if it is a multiple browser windows, I can get current window handles by using window handles. With the help of driver only, driver variable, I can get all this. Go to here and driver dot current window handle. You can use this particular command. If you can use this particular command, you can print this because it will return window ID of that particular browser. Since it is a single browser window, it will have only one window ID. For the same, we have used current window handle. Let me execute this. If you can see here, it has maximized and opened the particular URL, and you can see this is the browser window ID. And every time when you open the same URL or the same browser window, definitely that window ID is dynamic. It is not unique. It will be dynamic. It is not equal. Let me show you that by executing one more time. You can see here. Again executed another time. And if you can see, this is the window ID of the same page. You can see here. You can see the difference. Both are not same. So that is the reason why we have discussed window IDs are dynamic. Very important. If we have a single browser window, I can use current window handle. If it is a single browser window, I don't want to switch to that particular window again. Definitely you can perform whatever the actions you require. In the same browser window, there is particular link. I want to perform a click action on this so that another browser window is open, nothing but a child browser window. You can see here, and if you can see, this is a link. For the link, it is having link text. So I can use here driver dot find element by dot. Since it is a link, I can use link text. And in the link text, I can specify the link text. Copy and paste it here. Upon a link, always I will perform the click action. After performing the click actions, definitely I will have multiple browser windows. One is parent window and the other is child window. In this case, multiple browser windows, so definitely multiple window IDs. So what we can do, upon clicking, anyway it will open child browser window. So at this time, I want window IDs. How I can get the window IDs? Multiple window IDs, not the single browser window ID. So for this, I can use driver dot window handles. When I use window handles method, it will return multiple browser window IDs. So print off window handles. So when I use current window handle, it will return window ID of single browser window. When there are multiple browsers opened or browser windows open, I can use window handles. So always window handles returns in the form of list. You can see it here. Opening the page, clicking the link. So it has opened the child window. This is the child window. And if you can see, since we have multiple browser windows, we can see multiple browser window IDs in the form of list. Very important. And in the list, the first element or the first window ID related to parent window ID. Parent window ID. The same you can see here. Before clicking the link, which it will open another browser window, I'm just printing the window ID of parent window. The same window ID you can see here and you can see it in the list. And this is the window ID of the child. So what I can decide, parent window ID is equal to, I can assign this to a variable. Instead of printing, I can use window IDs. I can initialize a variable and I can use driver.window handles. So as we seen here, window handles always returns list, window IDs in the form of list. And first window ID is related to parent window ID. And the second window ID is related to child window ID. So parent window ID is, I can say, I can use indexing, window IDs of 0. Similarly, child window ID is, I can use the first index. So instead of 0, I can specify 1 here. So what I can do, I can try to print, or I can switch to that particular window. Either it is parent window or it is child window, and I can perform whatever the actions I want. So right now what I will do, when we open this particular page, what I am doing, I'm just performing a click action on the link. So child browser window has been opened, but again I'm repeating, our driver is still focused on the parent window only. Now my requirement is, I want to print the title of the child window because this is my requirement. But still my driver is focused here. So what I can do, I can switch to child browser window, I can print the title. Then again, I can switch to parent browser window, I can print the title. These two actions I can do. In the similar way, if there is any element of the child window, you can switch to child window and you can perform the actions. And again, if you want to come back to parent window, you can switch to parent window. Just you need to specify the window ID. That's it. How you can specify. If you see here, I have performed the click action on the link. It has opened the child window, but my driver is still focused on the parent window. So what I need to do, I need to switch driver dot switch to dot window. So here I can specify parent window ID, or since my driver is still focused on parent window, I can use child window ID. So after switching to child window, I can just print of driver dot title. So this title related to child window ID because my driver is switching to child window. In the similar way, what I can do, after printing the title of child browser window, I can print the title of parent browser window. How I can? Again, I need to switch back to parent window. Definitely I need to use as like alert, as like frame, switch to dot alert, switch to dot frame. Multiple browser windows, I can use switch to dot window. In the window, I need to specify the parameter. That parameter is nothing but window ID. Execute this browser windows, and you can see, yes, after clicking the browser window, or I can say after opening this particular page, it has performed the click action. My driver is switched to child window. It has printed the title. We can see the title in a while. And again, it is switching to parent window and it is again printing the title. If you can see here in the console, this is the current window ID, nothing but the parent window ID. Okay, fine. This is the child window ID. What is the proof? You can go here and if you can see, let me inspect this. If you can inspect and can search for title. If you see, the title is Human Resource Management Software and Orange HRM. This is the child window ID title. The same is printed in the console. And another requirement is, I need to switch to parent window and I need to print the title. And you can inspect it here. And if you can see, what is the title of the parent window? orange HRM. The same has been printed in the console. In this way, you can interact with any element as like not only title by just switching. During switching, you need to specify IDs. The only work you need to do is specifying that ID. And another important, every time when you load or when you open the same page, window IDs are dynamic. Very important point. Another requirement. If there are multiple browser windows opened, how I can close a specific browser window? What I can do? I can loop each and every window ID. I can switch to that window and I can check the title. And if my title is matching to my required window to be closed, then I can issue a close command. How I can do that? You can use this looping concept. Let me comment this for a while. And window IDs. And what I am doing, window IDs anyway will return a list data type. I am iterating each and every ID with the help of for loop, and after iterating, I am just switching to that particular browser by using window ID driver.switch to .window ID. And what I am doing, I'm just checking the title, whether the title of the browser window which I switched is equal to the title which I want to close. Or you can do it here. Close this, and this is the child window, or this is the window which I want to close. What I can do, with the help of title, I can check whether the window which I need to be closed is having this title. If it is having this title, then you can issue a close command. How you can do? Let me comment this and let me execute this. Before executing, let me initialize a time dot sleep, and in the sleep I can specify the time as 3 seconds so that you can understand the transition. So for this I can import time, and let me execute this. If you can see here, it has opened this orange HRM line. Yes, it has opened child window, and after 3 seconds I want my parent window to be closed. It is not done here. The reason is, we can check it here. We can check the title, what it is having. Maybe if I specify the wrong title also, we'll not be able to do or close. Inspect this as well. And if you can see, this is the title, human resource management software. And is this the title is same? Yes, the title is not same. So that is the reason why it has not performed the close operation or closing of that particular browser window. I need to specify the browser title or window title correctly. Otherwise, it will not be able to close. So I want my child window to be closed, or I want my parent window to be closed, because you can see that some transition in this demo session. You can take this orange HRM, instead of this title, I can use the title of the parent window so that I can close that parent window. You can run this again. Specifying the title, correct title is very important. It has opened the child window by performing the click action. Yes, it has closed the parent window. In this way, you can switch to that particular browser window with the help of window ID, and you can check whether my title is which the title of the browser window which I need to close is equal to the title of that particular browser window. And if it is matching, I can issue a close command. In this way, I can print window IDs, as well as if it is a single browser window, I can use current window handle. Multiple browser windows, I can use window handles.